Dense fog clung to the Teutoburg Forest, masking the silent movements of the Germanic warriors. The Romans, seasoned veterans of countless campaigns, marched confidently, their armor gleaming under the faint morning sun. Legions numbered in the tens of thousands, yet the shadows of the forest whispered of unseen threats. Every rustle of leaves, every snapping twig felt like a harbinger of doom. Publius Quinctilius Varus, the Roman commander, adjusted his helmet, scanning the horizon. The land is ours. Discipline will see us through, he thought, but deep down, doubt tugged at him. Could the Germanic tribes really challenge the might of Rome? Or was this march the beginning of a nightmare that would shake the empire to its core? Meanwhile, Arminius, the cunning Cherusci leader, watched from the tree line. Every footstep of the Romans was calculated, every supply wagon noted. He had once served Rome, learned their strengths and weaknesses, and now plotted a revenge that history would remember. Could a guerrilla force, hidden in the dense forest, truly annihilate the power of the world's most feared army? The legions advanced, their boots pressing into the muddy ground. The river nearby murmured a warning, yet the Romans, blinded by confidence, continued. Around them, the forest seemed alive, anticipating chaos. If you stood there, witnessing the first clash, would you fight with the disciplined legions or side with the indomitable spirit of the tribes fighting for freedom? Every decision, every misstep could decide the fate of an empire. And as the first arrows whispered through the fog, the world held its breath. The stage was set for a confrontation that would alter the course of history. Could Rome survive this unseen, calculated strike? Or was this the moment when the empire, unmatched for centuries, would taste the bitter edge of defeat? The Roman columns pushed forward, trudging through the muddy paths. Soldiers adjusted their shields, the heavy armor biting into tired shoulders. Food wagons creaked under the weight of supplies, and every officer barked commands to maintain order. But the forest, a living labyrinth, swallowed sound and distorted movement. Whispers of fear ran through the ranks. How many would return home alive? Arminius moved silently with his warriors, signaling ambush points with precise hand gestures. Years under Rome's command had taught him their tactics, but he knew one mistake could cost them everything. Each archer, each hidden soldier, waited patiently. The tribes fought for their land, their freedom, their families. Could their courage outweigh Rome's experience and discipline? The Romans stumbled into narrow ravines encircled by towering trees. Morale wavered as the first volleys of arrows pierced armor. Officers struggled to maintain formation, shouting in panic as soldiers fell. Varus realized that the empire's weight and structure were weaknesses in such a confined, unpredictable terrain. Was his pride blinding him? Could he still salvage this march, or was the empire teetering on the brink of catastrophe? For the Germanic warriors, it was a battle of strategy, patience, and timing. Every trap, every concealed pit, every hidden attack was designed to break the Romans mentally before physically. Could one small tribe's cunning truly dismantle centuries of military supremacy? And in these moments, as blood soaked the earth and screams echoed, every man faced his mortality, questioning the gods and the path that had led him here. By midday, the forest had transformed into a chaotic battlefield. Arrows flew like deadly rain, and Roman soldiers tried desperately to form defensive lines, but the terrain betrayed them. Every step forward was met with resistance, every path an ambush. Varus's heart sank as the realization dawned. The might of Rome could be undone by strategy and the unyielding spirit of those determined to resist. Arminius pressed the advantage, his voice cutting through the battle like steel. For our land! For freedom! Each warrior's strike was precise, calculated, and merciless. Roman cohorts fractured, and the cohesion that had made them unstoppable on open plains became their undoing in this forest. Could discipline survive here, or was Rome about to witness its darkest hour? Even the strongest soldiers felt the terror, the uncertainty, and the weight of history pressing on them. Supplies dwindled, reinforcements could not arrive, and the dense woods made command impossible. One wrong move, one misstep could lead to annihilation. And yet, in the chaos, moments of heroism shone. Soldiers shielding comrades, leaders rallying their men with sheer will. Could bravery alone alter fate when the odds were stacked overwhelmingly against them? As night approached, the forest grew darker and more menacing. Fires from scattered camps illuminated twisted shadows of both Roman and Germanic fighters. The battle was far from over, and history itself seemed to hang by a fragile thread. Would Rome survive the night? Could one empire withstand the fury of those defending their homeland? By dawn, the remnants of the Roman legions were broken and scattered. Varus, overwhelmed and desperate, realized that his pride and assumptions had led the empire to the edge of collapse. The Germanic tribes had achieved what few believed possible, a decisive strike against the world's most feared army. Arminius stood tall, surveying the battlefield. The forest had become both a weapon and shield. Victory was not only in the numbers, but in the planning, patience, and unity of his people. Every fallen comrade, every trap, every arrow had contributed to this monumental achievement. Could a smaller, determined force always find a way to challenge even the mightiest empire? The Battle of Teutoburg Forest reshaped history, halting Roman expansion into Germania and echoing through centuries. Scholars and generals would study this moment, analyzing mistakes, heroism, and the fragility of power. And for every soldier and tribesman, it was a reminder: courage, cunning, and unity could alter the course of empires. As the forest grew silent, the lessons of that fateful day remained. What would you have done if standing in their place? Would discipline or defiance guide your actions? Could one moment decide the fate of millions? And how does history remember those who seize it?